Okay, the team that I'm looking forward to seeing next year, a team that we covered quite a bit during this season, the Houston Texans. They just signed Dalton Schultz to a 3-year deal. He came back, and what he said is CJ quickly cemented himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. That was a big part of me wanting to come back. I wanted to surround myself with guys like that, guys that kind of galvanize a football team, and I think he does an absolutely great job of that. The whole reason I'm excited to see the Texans is to see the second-year jump from CJ Stroud, the second-year jump that DeMeco Ryans can take as a head coach. There's a lot of parts on that defense where if they improve that unit, the offense should take another leap. I was pretty disappointed in the Tank Dell injury to end last season, both for my fantasy team and watching the Houston Texans, because it felt like they were really coming on strong and then had a bunch of injuries that knocked them down a peg. And yeah, they probably still lose to the Ravens. It's a really tough place, as we just mentioned, to go in and win. But I thought that was a team that was rolling at the right time, and what a start to essentially their playoff game against the Colts in Week 18. 75-yard touchdown to Nico Collins, who just looked unbelievable. The ragtag group that we called them throughout the year just had guys step up time and time again. And I think with a few more pieces on that defense, maybe get another receiver this offseason to bring in and complement the other guys that we mentioned. They're going to be in the running back market. We'll see if they go after a guy like Derrick Henry or Saquon. I think this Houston team is right on the cusp. Maybe not this year of being a legitimate big-time Super Bowl contender, but especially like this can be the setup year to really launch into that elite status in 2025.
Oh, no, I think that's a great pick. I mean, how can you not be excited about these guys? I mean, what was their win total last year? 5.5, and they end up winning the NFC South.
Insane.
Stroud's like an MVP candidate, as I called them all season, the team of misfits.
Yeah,
that all seem to gel and play great together, kind of like the Packers in a way.
They were very comparable, Green Bay and Houston, throughout the year.
I'm very curious to see, which is why I'm excited, what CJ Stroud we're going to get. Like, is he going to improve? Is he going to repeat? Is he going to digress? Sophomore slump? I don't know. But if he repeats what he did or can get better, this team can go very, very far. That could be very, very scary.
And as exciting as the offense is, and I agree they are exciting, you also have to be excited by the young defensive talent too. Not a lot of people talked about Derek Stingley last year, but he was in the top 5 in the NFL in passer rating when targeted. Will Anderson got a lot of attention, fairly deserved. He played really, really well. So there's a lot of exciting young players on this defense too. And you always get, as much as I love seeing offenses step forward, being able to see teams develop on both sides of the ball is always good. So yeah, I mean, as CJ Stroud should take another step forward, I'm optimistic to see Stingley turn into that real lockdown corner he was drafted to be. You saw flashes of that this year. There's just a lot on both sides of the ball to enjoy with this team.
Well, he took a huge step forward, Stingley.
I forgot Stingley was drafted before Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
a pick
Stingley went
Sauce.
3, right?
He had as good a year last year as Sauce Gardner.
Oh, Stingley was great.
Yeah, Stingley was very good.
A lot of people were doubting his career.
It's just because he got hurt so much, right? I mean, he had some unfortunate injuries his first year, so people assumed he was bad. No.
And I mean, we'll see what happens with Grenard. Is it Grenard or Greenard? I always flip back and forth with their defensive end. I'm just gonna say Grenard. And they didn't franchise tag him. He's a free agent now. Said he would love to come back. I believe he had 12.5 sacks last year. A great tandem with Will Anderson. If they let him go, maybe in the draft they try and get another pass rusher for DeMeco Ryans to play with. Ziggy, you said the defensive side of the ball also can't be overlooked, but it often does because you have Stroud throwing for 4,000 yards, 23.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't blame anyone who does this, right? But I mean, the defense was 11th in points allowed last year. It was
they were good. They were good. Remember, they had. I don't believe their sack numbers were very good, but they had a very high pressure rate in Houston.
It'll get better next year.
It should be better. And it's a team to definitely keep an eye on. But one thing that will be difficult for them, you look at the strength of schedule right now, and it's hard to talk about strength of schedule in, what are we, in March right now? Because
no free agents, no draft.
Yeah, and even during the season, you have no idea how teams are going to pan out. Remember, we were talking about the Rams 49ers week 1. Everyone's going, 49ers will kill them. Rams suck. 49ers won, but that Rams team was very different from what people expected. The Texans have the AFC East and the NFC North next year. That's 7 tough games, 6 tough games, maybe. I mean, difficult schedule.
You look at last year too. Like everybody going into that season, if you see the Texans on your schedule, oh, like that's an automatic win.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. The prime example was the Texans.
I mean, you never really know yet.
Yeah, the Packers are on your schedule second half of the season. Jordan Love will be out of the league, no problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just
AFC East, NFC North, that's tough. And then on top of that, you have the first place teams with Kansas City, Baltimore. You also have Dallas. The Texans will have their chance to prove themselves against the big boys, but that's tough. I mean, that's a really hard schedule. It should be.
And
step up.
They prove that they can win those games. They went to Cincinnati and beat the Bengals, so they definitely can. But when you have to do so many more of them, and some of them are going to be back to back, you do have to take that next step forward. Yeah. But I don't know. It's for the first time in a few years now, you see the way the players are talking about it. The Texans are a team where players are excited to be. They want to be there. Yep. And that makes such a difference compared to, like, you look at what New England has to do to get people to play for them right now. It's very different.
I mean, look at the way people talked about the Bill O'Brien era there. like when they had Bill O'Brien and during the stretch from Watson to Stroud, like both those time periods. I mean, we're talking about a team that's just tough. I mean, people didn't want to go. People didn't want to go there. Now, I think I'm remembering the Bill O'Brien period, right? I thought there was a lot of hostility, especially.
Well, yeah, but even when they were winning, people were hostile towards Bill O'Brien, right? Remember the DeAndre Hopkins saga?
Yeah, that was,
But then once they started losing and he got fired, and you had like the Lovie Smith year, and just no one wanted to go.